Welcome to the OP12 Blue Purple Sanji deck breakdown, where we're going to be going over the leader, the cards in the deck, starting hands, card tech options. We're going to go over his curve and then look at his matchups. So if that is something you're interested in, stay tuned. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Card Kaizoku.
This video is brought to you by Nengarden. To celebrate their 1-year anniversary, they're thanking fans with a huge sale. Nearly everything is $30 or less. Plus, you can use code Kaizoku at checkout for an extra 5% off your order. This video is brought to you by Adakai TCG. Shop the latest in premium holographic textured custom One Piece cards. Designed for collectors, crafted to stand out. Use code Kaizoku for 15% off your next order. This video is sponsored by Gungam.gg. See Western OP11 list and Eastern OP12 list on Gungam.gg. Updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, Gungam.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. So Blue Purple Sanji, by definition right now, is, I would say, an off-meta deck. I'll be upfront and clear about it. He did kind of make a splash at one of the championship series in Japan where like 2 Blue Purple Sanjis made it to top 16, but since then he has not shown up to too many great results at all. But it is the first set that this deck has been released in, so only more future support will improve the deck, right? It's already at a pretty decent spot right off the bat. But yeah, it's an event-focused deck. You're really only playing 2 characters out. So let's just take a look at the leader card here. So Sanji is a dual-color blue-purple leader with 5,000 power and 4 starting life. His leader ability reads, activate main once per turn. If you Dawn -1, you can activate up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type event card from your hand with an original cost of 3 or less. Then when attacking, if the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than your opponent, you can ramp 1 Dawn as rested. So yeah, essentially you're getting to play a free 3 cost or less event every turn. That Dawn -1 that you use to pay for it, you just get to get it back with your leader ability when attacking. So we run a bunch of good 3 cost or less Straw Hat Crew type events in the deck. And then the characters we run benefit from having events in our discard. So we'll just jump right into the deck list here. For OP03 Kaya, 1 cost 2k counter. So on play, you just draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards from your hand. This helps cycle out your starting hand to find cards that you need, and it helps fill your discard with event cards to scale, right? Because the key pieces in our deck depend on the number of event cards in our discard, just FYI. And then also, Kaya, we can always bounce it back to our hand with the Jozu later, so it's no big deal to play it out. But do note, we're running quite a low number of 2k counters in the deck, right? As you can see from the top right here, we only run 8, so you do kind of have to be sparing with these Kayas. But don't get me wrong, filling your discard with 2 events is really strong in the early game. But just so you know, you're going to have to depend on your counter events a lot too in the late game. So until you get to that point and you have Dawn to spare, when you don't have Dawn to spare, you might need to keep a Kaya or 2 in your hand. For OP12 Sanji, 3 cost 5k power. This character gets plus 1000 power for every 5 events in your trash. This is the scalar guy here, right? It's kind of like Jesus Burgess. And then if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effects, you may return 1 Dawn from your Dawn field instead. So really strong removal prevention, right? He's really sticky. No matter if you bounce it, bottom deck it, KO it, he can, at the price of returning 1 Dawn, stay on board. Incredibly hard card to get off the board. His only vulnerability is if you swing with them, right? He does die to combat. That's something that can't be prevented via his card effect here. So you kind of want to play him out, wait till he gets big enough where you can defend him really easily, and then that's when you start swinging with them. I would say like once he becomes a 7k, which is like 10 events in your discard, that's when it's kind of safe to swing with them. But also do keep Dawn up for your Gungam Giants to protect them in case your opponent swings a bigger number, right? Your whole strategy winning the game revolves around playing multiple copies of this guy and letting them get big. So if he dies, yeah, you're gonna have a tough time closing out games. This is kind of why he has a weak matchup into Zoro, just because Zoro can force a lot of your characters to rest themselves. So yeah, Zoro is like one of the only decks that can exploit your weakness, the like vulnerability window that you have before you scale, unfortunately. And he's also like the most played deck in the meta. But everything else that can't deal with this Sanji, right? You can't KO it, can't bottom deck it, can't bounce it. He just becomes like a ticking time bomb for you, right? Becoming really annoying swings later on in the game. For OP12 Vinsmoke Reiju, 4 cost 5k power, 1k counter. So if your trash has 4 or more events in it, this character gets plus 2000 power and 5 costs. So it's a 9 cost 7k for 4 Dawn. That is really strong. To fill our discard with 4 events in this deck is easy peasy. It's so easy to do. So essentially it's a super strong defensive card that can help keep you healthy early on, right? In a sense, it's also really hard to remove if it's like a cost space effect. 9 cost is like incredibly hard for your opponent to kind of cost reduce to be able to interact with this card. And just being an early 7k blocker prevents a lot of like free leader attacks from your opponent too. Oh, she's a blocker, by the way, if I didn't mention that. But do note that when you're having less than 4 events in your discard, she is quite vulnerable being a 4-cost 5k, right? She dies to things like Zeus, so you kind of don't want to play her out until you can guarantee that plus 5 cost. For OP07 Sanji, 6 cost 6k power 2k counter, so if the number of Dawn cards on your field is 2 less than your opponent or more, then you can play him out for 3. He's a 3 cost 6k blocker instead. So just a very versatile card. He's a blocker too. We do minus Dawn a lot in this deck, though we do kind of ramp it back with our leader ability after we attack. But there are instances where you'll be less than your opponent, play the Sanji out, and then you can ramp back up after getting that discount. And then otherwise, it's just a 2k counter and it's searchable by like every one of our event searchers. 2 OP08 Jozu, 6 cost 7k power 1k counter. So on play, if you return another character on your board, you can bounce one of your opponent's 6 drops or less to their hand. This is just a great way to recycle our Kayas. And if we don't have Kayas on board or no other target with Jozu, we just use them as 1k counter. So it's a non-committal 2 of, right? Just sometimes gives you value with your Kayas. 2 OP02 Gum Gum Rain, 0 cost event. So on counter, if you trash another card in your hand, you can give up to a leader or character plus 3000 power during this battle. And then on trigger, it bounces a 2-drop to the opponent's hand. So just a way to, again, since we're only running 8 2k counters, utilize some of our events when we don't have Dawn up to counter for 3k, right? We do get a lot of bricks when we don't have Dawn up. So this is just a way to mitigate that a little bit. And it counts as an event in the trash for Sanji and Reiju too. 2, when you're at sea, you fight against pirates. It's a 1 Dawn event. Look at the top 3 for a Straw Hat, Kid Pirates, or Heart Pirates type card add to your hand. This is mainly just used for the Straw Hat portion. We only run 2 of this just because we have 8 other event searchers for 1 Dawn. So this is just like filler, the next best thing. And on trigger, you activate the main 2, so that's not bad at all. 4 OP09 Gum Gum Giant. So for a purple Straw Hat leader, we have to run this card. It's a 1 Dawn counter event. Counters for 4k, but you do have to Dawn -2 and trash a card in your hand. But at the end of all that, you get to draw 2 cards. So again, since we're running so many bricks in this deck, when we don't have extra Dawn up for every other event counter in our hand, or even some of the activate main events, we can always chuck them, potentially draw into counter with this Gum Gum Giant. It's good at cycling our hand out and defending ourselves for 4k. For OP11, let's crash this wedding. It's a 1 cost Straw Hat Searcher. If your leader is multicolored, look at the top 5 for a Straw Hat Crew type card. So yeah, same reasons as the when you're at sea you fight pirates, but this search is 5 deep. And then on trigger, activate the main effect, so it's great for that. Early game, you're just trying to fill your discard with so many of these searcher events as you can to scale your Sanji, or even find your Sanjis in the first place. For OP12 Concaster, it's a 1 cost dual main and counter event. So on main, if your leader is Sanji, you draw a card, so it's just cycling itself out for 1 Dawn. Then on counter, if you have 4 or more event cards in your trash, up to one of your leaders gets plus 4000 power during this battle. So it only works on leaders, it doesn't protect your characters, so do take note of that. But yeah, 1 Dawn for 4k counter. Once your Sanjis and Reijus have scaled, like Reiju will be a 7k, Sanji will be a 7k at the very least. He gets bigger as the game goes on. Your opponent will attack your face instead to try to just kill you. This is where Concaster can help you, right? 4k counter. And then yeah, in the instances where like it's really early game and you have a lot of these in your hand and you don't need a counter for 4k just yet, just cycle it out. No big deal. Helps scale your Sanjis in the late game too. For OP12 Luffy is the man who will become the Pirate King. It's a 1 Dawn top 3 searcher, but only if your leader is Sanji, and it searches for any card actually, not just Straw Hat, so can help you find some non-Straw Hat cards in your deck, namely the Kayas and the Jozus if you really need it, and the Reijus too as well. But this one doesn't have a trigger. 2 OP11 Gum Gum Jet Culverin. It's a 3 cost event, so that means we can cheat it up with our leader ability. So on main, place up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 4 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. Then on trigger, you can bottom deck a 1-drop. So yeah, it's just a free bottom deck a 4-drop if you need it. This gets rid of annoying cards like Kikunojo, who have an on-KO. Also gets rid of like Mr. 2s before it can attack, or gets rid of your opponent's Shirohoshi blockers before you can KO it and make them heal. But yeah, I do think 4-drop isn't as relevant as 5 anymore, so this does get kind of bricky in your hand if you have like 4 of. So I only run it as a 2 of. If I need it, I can find it with any of my event searchers. So yeah, I felt like this is a good number. For OP12 Boeuf Burst, it's a 3 cost event. On main, if your leader is multicolored, you can choose 1. So either you bounce a 4-drop back to your opponent's hand, or if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, you draw 2 cards. So this is like the event that I run the most. It's an event that I use the event searchers to find as well, just because you're able to draw 2 cards with it, and it's basically free because our leader ability can play this out for a -1 Dawn. Sometimes it's great to bounce something to hand too, but yeah, this one helps you like have a huge hand and then find more events to discard or like even cycle out. I would say like this is like your engine card, right? Once you have your Sanjis and Reijus established, you want to play as many Boeuf bursts as you can. 2 OP12 Brochette Blow, 3 cost event on main. If the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than your opponent's, you draw one card and then give it to one of your opponent's characters minus 3000 power for the turn. So essentially it's like a Building Snake or Gordon, that kind of effect, except it's kind of free with our leader ability. But to be honest, like if your opponent doesn't have a character out and you have no other event to play, I'd sometimes just chuck this out for free with our leader ability just to draw a card, even if I don't get to utilize a minus 3k. But yeah, can help you trade against your opponent. Giving them minus 3k is pretty strong. But yeah, not every deck is like a combat focused deck, so I don't want to overcommit with 4 of these cards. 2 OP03 3000 Worlds, 4 cost event, so it's not cheatable by our leader ability. We have to pay the full 4 when we're playing this card. On main, you can place up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 5 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck, and then on trigger, it bottom decks at 3 costs. So I only run this just because there's so many problematic 5 costs in the game, right? You have Tashigi, Cavendish, Smoker, the 5-drop Luffy, the 4-drop Luffy. So because of that, I do think there's a place to have 3000 Worlds in your deck, even though it doesn't synergize with your leader ability, because it's a 4-drop, not a 3-drop. I personally still think it's great. Lastly, we have 2 OP04 Gum Gum Red Rock 6 cost event. You can just bottom deck any costed character on board. On trigger, you can bottom deck a 4-drop. So this just helps us against like Blue Purple Luffy or like Blue Kuzan, who play like a bunch of big characters. If they only develop one character a turn, you play a bunch of Sanjis, they scale, get rid of their one big threat, and then just pummel their face. And the cost of this deck as of today, before OP12 has released, most of these cards, I would say like half are OP12 cards. So if you wanted to buy this ahead of time with the available cards currently available, it's only $42, right? And the rest would just be filled up with OP12 cards. I think there's only one SR, being this Reiju. Everything else is like an event or like a rare. This Sanji is a rare. So it shouldn't be too much more expensive. A really cheap deck. And then for your convenience, if you're using my deck builder, which I'll have this particular deck list linked in the description below, the shopping cart links there, after you click the show prices button, will take you to the cheapest version of each card on TCG Player. Or if you're lazy, you can just click the master entry button here. This will copy the entire deck list to your clipboard. You can just Control V onto their master entry form, add the entire deck to your cart of available cards. Once OP12 does release and I have prices for them, yeah, those cards will show up in the master entry too. But yeah, that's just there for your convenience if you're lazy. It all goes through my affiliate link, whether you're clicking the shopping cart or the master entry button. So if you wanted to support me in a passive way and you were going to buy these cards anyway, this would be a great way to help me out. So thank you. Then we'll move on to the starting hands. So for starting hands, you basically just want to find any of your searcher events or your Kayas or the only characters that you can play out in your deck, right? So getting a Kaya out early helps set up your Reiju. We'll go over that in the curve. And then yeah, any of the searcher events when you're at sea, Let's Crash This Wedding, or Luffy's event would be the Pirate King, or even Concaster, right? That draws you a card too at the very least. You just want to fill your discard as quickly as possible on the turns that you can't really do anything, right? On your first turn, if you're going second, you have 2 down, you can't attack, play 2 searcher events or something, right? And then you want to find Biff Burst just to draw more cards or potentially get rid of your opponent's problem cards. And then, yeah, you'll need the Sanjis and Reijus eventually because these are how you're going to win games. You're going to want to play these out and then they'll scale. That's pretty much it. So we'll move on to the tech options. So here are some card choices to consider. So for the 2k counter slot, if you do want to run more, you can, or if you want to switch out the Kayas, you can too. But yeah, Sora would be an option. It's from OP12 too. If your leader is Sanji and the number of Dawn cards is equal to or less than your opponent, you ramp 1 Dawn and draw a card. I don't feel like we need the extra ramp. I'm feeling like it's fine just to match your opponent and depend on your leader ability to ramp you back 1 Dawn. So that's why I don't feel like we need Sora. But yeah, since it draws you a card, it cycles itself out, right? So it's like 1 Dawn to cycle and ramp. So it's not bad at all, actually. But just compared to Kaya, I feel like Kaya is a lot better. I guess if you want to replace the Sanji blockers, you can. There's also Carne. It's a 1-cost blocker from OP12 as well. If you have 4 more event cards in your trash, it gains blocker, which is really easy to do in case you're facing a bunch of blue purple Luffys, I guess, and you just need to like survive another turn. You just chump block one of their 9Ks with this 1 Dawn investment here. I just couldn't really fit room for it. Maybe if I didn't need the Jozus, I would put some Carne back in. There's also the Pudding Searcher from OP12. It's a 1-cost top 4 searcher that searches for Sanji cards or event cards. Since it's not an event, I kind of prefer running the searcher events just because the events actually do stuff for you. This is just a 1k counter in the worst case scenario. Otherwise, it's like a dead card on board, right? You're never going to swing with this pudding most of the time. So if the events do the same thing and they help scale your Sanjis and this doesn't, why not run the events instead? There's also starter deck 18 Usohachi. So if you're at 8 or more Dawn cards, you can just rest one of your opponent's 5 drops. Helps you go for game when you're having that army of Sanjis out. This would probably be like the next best option besides the blocker Sanji. So yeah, if you want to have a way to get around your opponent's blockers, this is a great way to do it. Of course, since we're a blue deck, you could try running a copy or 2 of OP06 Charlotte Pudding, just always having that threat of making your opponent have to like be wary of their hand size, because what she does is makes your opponent shuffle their hand back into the deck and draw a new hand of 5 cards. We can kind of get away with not playing it just due to the fact that we are blue, and then if your opponent is wary of playing against blue, they're just going to assume you have pudding in your deck even if you don't. So sometimes they'll play as if you do have pudding. So it's like you're having pudding's effect without actually running the card in a weird way. But it could be the fact that like people know blue purple Sanji doesn't run it as often, so they just ignore it. But yeah, I guess there's just always that like mystery factor, right? You could be running it, you couldn't be running it. But if you happen to find an opponent who's slacking and you have this in your hand, it's really great at like burning a bunch of resources from your opponent's hand. So if you don't need the Jozus, maybe I would put puddings in. And then this one's kind of a mini synergy. It's not like a really strong synergy, but with Kamazo, just because of our leader ability allowing us to minus Dawn every turn, we can pop a 2-drop every turn with Kamazo. He's also a 2k counter if you don't need him for that, but I don't know. Personally, I don't think there's too many good 2-drop or less threats that we need to get rid of with Sanji. Yeah, chump blockers are really prevalent in the meta right now with stuff like Ripper, and then the Vista coming soon in Starter Deck 22. There's who else? Apu in yellow decks. So if you're facing a lot of those decks, yeah, I would consider Kamazo just to be able to pop one of those every turn. It also kills the Bedge blocker too. So I guess if you're having trouble against like Kid or Green Yellow Law, tech in more Kamazos. Now that I think about it, hey, that's pretty good. And then we'll move on to the curve. So for Sanji's curve, I think he does better going first just because you're able to attack first. That means you can play your events out 1 turn earlier than your opponent. So we'll go first, 1 Dawn. We play one of our plentiful event searchers. So we'll just play like when you're at Sea You Fight Pirates. And I notice I don't have a discard section on my deck builder's board state tool. So I can't really count how many events. We're just going to have to like mental math it. So this will draw you a card that you need, passes to your 3 Dawn turn. We'll just put this on our opponent's side so that we know we have 1 event in our trash. So here's where it would be pretty safe to drop Sanji, just because it's hard for them to remove it. I do want to get to a point where I can drop the Reiju. So if you want to set up for a Reiju next turn, I think this would be the best time to do it. If you don't have a Sanji yet, then yeah, this is what you want to build towards. So let's say we do that. So we'll play Luffy's the Man, who will be the Pirate King. So that's 2 events. You'll play Let's Crash This Wedding. That's 3 events. And then like a Concaster to draw a card. That's 4 events. And then you could play Biff Burst with your leader ability. So Dawn -1. You swing with your leader. Oh, this will draw you 2 cards too, by the way. Attack with your leader, ramp a Dawn back. So now you have 5 in your discard. So now it's your 5 Dawn turn. Here's where it would be safe to play Reiju out, because she gets the +5 cost and then +2k power. So she's a 7k. You have a Dawn left over. So if you have more of these searcher events, you can find your Sanji for next turn. And if you have another Biff Burst, you could minus Dawn now. Attack with the leader, get it back. And then it goes to your 7 Dawn turn here. So if you happen to have 2 Sanjis at this point, you can play them both out. Right, at this point, Reiju is a 9 cost, so it's already hard to remove. And then these Sanjis, since we're at 7 Dawn, it's no big deal to minus Dawn to save them if your opponent tries to remove them. It's not once per turn either. It's as many times as you have Dawn, you can protect the Sanji, which is something I should have gone over when I went over the card. But hey, if you're watching it to this part of the video, that's one thing you know now. So since we have like, what, 6 events at this point, these Sanjis would be 6Ks, right, for every 5. And then from this point on, you're just controlling your opponent's board, whether it be Red Rock or 3000 Worlds or Jet Culverin, and then playing more surgery events to the point where you're at like 10 events in your discard. And that's when you're going to start attacking with these Sanjis, and even your Reiju if you want. And that's when you're going to depend on your Concaster to protect your leader and your Gungam Giants to protect your Sanjis on board. You don't need to go to 10. There's no benefit to going to 10, so you can stay around 7, 8, or 9 Dawn and liberally use Gungam Giant. Fill your discard with more events, and then like if Sanji ever goes to like 8 or 9k, you're golden, right? Your opponent can't really deal with these big hits. Develop more Sanjis on future turns. That's pretty much the game plan, right? There's no really set curve. It's a pretty flexible deck. You just play with the best thing you have in your hand and try to fit in these characters whenever you can, while also leaving Dawn up to protect them, by the way. So like at this point in the game, you always want like at least 2 to 3 Dawn up just to play your counter events. But yeah, one caveat to note is that you do have to play characters before attacking, just because you need Rested Dawn, or you want to use Rested Dawn to use your leader ability with. So you want to like play the Reiju first, minus a Dawn, play Beef Burst, draw 2 cards, attack with your leader and get it back. That does leave you vulnerable to like triggers, so just be wary of that. But most triggers can't really hit Reiju when she's a 9 cost or Sanji, just because you can protect them. And that's pretty much it. So we'll move on to the matchup section. So here are Sanji's matchups on the last week of the Sim and OP12 of Eastern private games. Not too many games played here, 1,292, so 2.56% of all played leaders on the East in private games. Yeah, it has a pretty low win rate. I think just due to the fact that people aren't playing this leader too much. So I think most of the good players aren't playing this deck, so that could be affecting the win rate. But yeah, going first, win rate of 42.21 on average. Going second of 37.9. Overall win rate of 40.33, which is weighted to 40.51. So yeah, 40% win rate on average. And here are the decks that he's good and bad against. So good into Teach, just because he cannot prevent you from playing events, and then like neither Sanji or Reiju depend on plays, so it doesn't really lock anything out for you actually. And you also have a way to get rid of their Jesus Burgess, right? You can bounce it, you can bottom deck it, so they can't like evade KO against you. So really big Blackbeard counter here. Good into Nami too, good into Koala, because we're not playing two characters out. We're not playing any character bigger than 8, which is what Koala is good against. Goes 50-50 with Buggy. Going first, you destroy him. Going second, it's weak. Yeah, a lot of like turbulent matchups against Kid. It depends on who's going first. Against Smoker, depends on who's going first, and so on. Against Kuzan, if you take second away from him, you beat him. Here are his weak matchups. So against Bonnie, I guess you really don't have a way to deal with Bonnie's leader ability. Again, as we mentioned, if our Sanji's ever rested, the 3-cost Sanji, before it scales, that's when we like lose our winning condition. So it makes sense that like 3 green decks are what counter Sanji here, right? Zoro has Kuina and then Tashigi to rest his characters. Green Purple Luffy, I guess he doesn't have a way to force you unless he plays as like the Usohachis. But the Electrical Lunas will keep your Sanjis rested, so he can like keep continually attacking into them if you swing too early. And yeah, Bonnie just able to rest one of your characters every turn. Blue Purple Luffy is just good into everything, so unfortunately we're the inferior Blue Purple Straw Hat leader here. And we don't really have a way to deal with his late game, right? He just draws too many cards. We don't have infinite red rocks to handle his board. And it takes too much time for our Sanjis to scale to like rush him down, unfortunately. Also not too great against Rayleigh. My list might be a little better just because I'm running the 3000 Worlds too, on top of the Jet Culverin, so we just keep getting rid of their 4-cost Luffys. Into Shanks, yeah, same reason as Blue Purple Luffy. We don't scale quick enough to kill him before he gets to his late game, and we don't have a ways to deal with his late game as efficiently. And Bellbeta just turbo deletes any 4-life leader, so that makes complete sense, unfortunately. So that is my Blue Purple Sanji list. That's my crack at it. I do think it's kind of a weird deck since you're having to run so many bricks, 36 non-counter cards, and yeah, just outright loses to any deck that can rest your Sanjis. So unfortunately, there's no way to get around that for now. So I would say this is more of like an off-meta kind of gimmick deck. At the moment, I don't think it's a serious deck. Personally, from my experience with it, I don't know, maybe you're like a Sanji diehard and you want to make it work, but that's all the more power to you. If you guys figure out something, let me know so I can learn too and show everyone in the video. Right, I'm all for any deck being good. That's kind of my mantra, you know? But unfortunately for my testing, yeah, it'll win you games. It's not a bad deck in any regard. It just loses to all the top meta decks, unfortunately. But if that ban list does anything to the meta, we could see Sanji like getting some wins here. But yeah, that's it for the deck breakdown. If you're a new viewer and you're not already subscribed, I would appreciate it if you did. You can check out my other deck breakdowns. I have a bunch of other OP12 like deck breakdown videos up by now to get you ready for OP12, which is releasing in like a month from the upload date of this video. So excited for that. Excited to finally play Sanji on paper. And I guess that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the deck or any feedback. I would appreciate it. And then we'll move on to the gameplay portion. All right, we have some Sanji matches here for you. We have Blue Purple Sanji versus Blue Kuzan. So we have some event searchers. We're going to play that to find our key pieces. I think I want to go for the Boeuf Burst early. We'll find our Sanjis eventually. We only bottom decked one of them, so there's still 3 in our deck somewhere. So event search, we'll take the only card we can take, which is the Brushette to Blow. Then we will play Boeuf Burst and then swing with the leader for 6 to get the Dom back. Okay, so we did not find another Sanji. I guess we go for the Reiju next turn. We already have 4 events, so she's going to be a 9-cost 7k on board to play Sengoku to fill their hand. See, the thing is, I have to play around Pudding, but I guess that's a weakness of this deck. I should put that in the deck breakdown, but yeah, since we're like unable to counter with a lot of cards, like if I had a 2k, I probably should have countered for 2k there. We are susceptible to Pudding just when we're filled with a bunch of counter events in our hand. So we'll just cycle this Bruschetta Blow and then swing 6 and get a Dawn back. We're just setting up for our big 3-cost Sanjis. Now, if he Puddings us here, that'd be pretty bad. He does counter for 2. Yeah, I really probably should have countered with my Sanji for 2k on the last turn there, just to keep my hand size low, because I can't Red Rock, I can't 3000 Worlds at the moment. Okay, so he plays Sudo. I only have 1 character on board, so I do have to bounce my Reiju back to hand. This only increases my chances of getting like a really bad pudding done to me. 5S will counter for 1k. I don't need the Jozu because I have no Kayas. Right, if you don't start with the Kaya, you just get rid of the Jozus. You don't want to bounce your Sanjis or your Rages back to hand. Okay, Tashigi finds him as 6 cost Kuzan. So he has that, that's coming. I guess we'd redevelop the Reiju just so I rested Dawn to use. And I can't even really Biff Burst just because I have too many cards in my hand. So we'll Concaster and cycle. And I don't really have much else I can do here. So I might just play the blow just to cycle. Or not. I guess I swing 7. I keep these cards in my hand. So yeah, here is where it gets risky. If I get puddinged here, I lose 3 cards. But it could help me find the 3 cost Sanjis. So it could be a blessing in disguise. So I kind of do hope he puddings me then. Do it. Okay, 5, we will counter. Making pudding a little less good for him here. So it does Garp into that Kuzan that he found last turn, most likely. Reiju can't attack. Probably wasn't going to attack with her anyway. But yeah, if I didn't have to worry about pudding, I would have obviously blocked with my Reiju. It's just that, you know, pudding warps the game. Warps how everybody plays. I don't know if he's probably worrying about my puddings too, right? He only has 5 cards in hand right now. So we'll red rock the Garp because it's a higher cost, even though it's the same stat line. Now I can Biff Burst. So I will Biff Burst, try to hope to find a 3 cost Sanji. Nope. Haha, haha, haha. We'll play Event Search. Okay, we found 1. Bottom deck the other, so there's 1 left in our deck. That's not at the bottom. We'll swing 6. Leave a Dawn up for Gungam Giant if we need to. But yeah, another pudding here would make us lose 3 cards. He takes a 6, we'll pass. But I do need to GGG to stay healthy and find that last Sanji. I do remember he putting me at one point. I don't know if he did it now. Not now. Okay, so I get to play 1 Sanji out. Yeah, I was thinking. I did remember playing Sanjis out in this game, so he didn't make me lose it. Oh, the thing is, if he puddings me, those 2 Sanjis I put on the bottom could show back up on the top. So that might help me, actually. Okay, so he does another Garp into Kuzan, onto my Reiju. So if he attacks Kuzan 8, I will Gungam Giant that, and then, oh, leader 5, I will block. And if he goes like 10 at Reiju, I just Gungam Giant that. 8 at my face, I will Gungam Giant that anyway. And I do not need 3000 worlds, so we'll cycle. We did not get another Sanji. Okay, plays a Tashigi. 1 Dawn up for a Pheasant Peck. That's so obvious. My blocker can't attack anyway though. Another GGG. We'll play Sanji out. And I guess we'll blow the Kuzan here. And then I guess we have like swing 6 and then we'll leave it on up for Gungam Giant. Just because I don't want to take 3 8Ks next turn. This will at least burn a 2K from his hand. Or a Pheasant Pack, that'd be really great. Right, a 4K counter to stop a 6K at 5. He Pheasant Pack, that makes me think he has no counter in hand. Good info, good info. He got rid of Sokka and drew a card, and then I can't attack with Reiju, so we'll pass. I have 2 blockers at the very least. Is this where he puddings me? I think so, which I think would help me at this point. I don't really like this hand. So this pudding would... Okay, red rocks my Reiju, so he still could pudding, but I would only lose 2 cards. And I run like 4 1 Dawn event counters, so there's a good chance I'll find at least a Concaster. If not a Gungam Giant. Am I pronouncing that right? Concaster. Oh, he does pudding me. And I get 2 Concasters. 5 at us. I could just counter 2k and then he does 8. I can Concaster this and then I'll have to use my Rager blocker for the other one. For one of them at least. I can take 1-8. We get the event search. By the way, we did not draw another 3 cost Sanji, so that's kind of unfortunate for us. Take the event here. Since 8 with that Kuzan, I will block and counter. And I have to use my Gum Gum Rain here. We'll get rid of one of the event searchers. Alrighty, and I get a blocker Sanji. Where's my 3 cost? Well, event search, we don't find him. So we'll Biff Burst to try to find it. Return a Dawn, draw 2. Did not get it. Okay, we'll hard cast a Biff Burst. Nothing I can really bounce back anyway. Okay, we found a Sanji. We just gotta set up, survive a turn and then go for game. Is what we're gonna have to try to do here. So we'll play that Sanji, and then we'll make him 9k by playing yet another event. And then I swing for 6. 6 at leader. Then I'll swing with my Sanji for 9. Just because it's going to be hard for him to kill a 9k. Takes a 6, that's a good sign for me. 9 he'll definitely take if he took a 6. So if he does not kill me this turn, I win. Unless he plays like 2 Maynard blockers and leaves 3 down up for 3 Pheasant Pegs, right? Because we've only seen him use 1 so far. He still has 3 in his deck. Swing 7 with the Sudo, so we'll just counter 3k. 7 with the Pudding, so he's going all in here. I take that one, and then he has 3 8s. Another 7 with leader. So I counter this one for 4. He can throw 9 9 8, so 8. I just have to counter this and I don't die. Right, he only has 2 attacks. I have 1 life and a blocker. Garp 8, I will take. I guess he could have threatened my Sanji there, but he decided not to. 8, and we'll block counter to that, and then we win from this point. Yeah, we just concede. Yeah, he could have killed my Sanji, but then I think I still have it on the clapback. Alright, here's Sanji versus Purple Black Luffy. So Jet Culverin is not going to do anything against this guy, so I'll mulligan this hand. Well, Event Search will find Red Rock. We'll play Kaya. Okay, we fill our discard with events here. I don't need Red Rock. So our Reiju set up, right? Nope, I need one more event. But I can Beef Burst next turn, so Reiju will be set up. Eidolus will take. Okay, we'll play Reiju out. We'll Beef Burst, draw 2. Give me the down back. My Reiju's a 9 cost 7k. Very nice. He didn't ramp 2, so that's great for us. He can't rum Luffy this turn. He could just swing 10 at us. I think that's what happens if I remember correctly. Yep, we'll take that. Thank you. Event trigger. We'll take a 3 cost Sanji. Okay, we're going to play that guy out. Oh, 2 of them. Don't mind if I do. So I should play characters first because I need to use Biff Burst. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I can Biff Burst here because this brings me down to 6. Get the down back. And I'll even swing with my Reiju. Okay, so he counters the 5. How about a 7? You take it, right? He take. Okay, my Sanjis are scaling. They're scaling scalers. Now, the only downside to this hand is, okay, he hits me with the Robin. I guess I'll discard Jozu. And then one of the Gungam Giants, I think. Oh, Reiju, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have any cycle events in my discard, in my hand, which would help me scale my Sanjis. But Gungam Giant, I have to, like, depend on him attacking me and leaving down up. So Robin, 7k Robin. So play Kaya here to get rested down I can use and fill our discard with more events. And then, but I can't play any events because all my events in hand are counter events, so can't use leader ability here. So I guess we'll just swing a bunch of 7s. Here's a 7 for you. Now, since I have 3 Gungam Giants, I'm pretty confident I can protect my Sanjis. So I will attack with them. Here's another 7 for my leader, though. Takes that one, going to 0. About 7 from this Sanji, and then we'll do 9 with the other. Counters 3. 9 with the Sanji. We could see him block and counter. Oh, we go... they had 9. I know how to count. So they block counter 4, and then we'll leave 1 down up to help save ourselves. We have access to 7k counter, 9k counter. Right, 1 Gungam Giant, 1 Rain, and then 1 Sanji 2k. So here's the first from Luffy. I did chuck my Red Rock, so I can't bottom deck him. Maybe I don't need to. He has no life. So 8k at my face. Gum Giant, of course. Get rid of another Gum Giant. Our Sanjis are now 7ks, and he just concedes. He had no way to kill me, and I just kill him on the clapback. Okay, Sanji versus Red Green Smoker. Aggro deck, right? Let's see how we do against aggro. So Red Rock, a little less relevant in this matchup. Because the target I hit with that is like Mihawk, right? So event search into a Reiju. Or Gungam Giant? Reiju, yeah. That's what I thought, past me. Current me would have taken that too. Okay, so next turn he 5 at us. We can develop. Okay, we get the event search. We'll take a Biff Burst. Oh no, probably 3000 worlds, right? Yeah. Because if he plays Smoker, he knows we have it in hand now though. But if he doesn't have the Shigis, I can just bottom deck the Smoker he has. 5 of us with the Virgo will counter 2. Oh, first we get it anyway. We'll play Reiju and then we will Boeuf this. I guess we're gonna Brochette blow? No, Boeuf burst. Right? Yeah, draw 2 cards. We'll attack 5 at their Virgo. Now our Reiju is vulnerable, but I don't think Smoker runs away to kill Reiju on 4 anyway. Yeah, plays the Smoker out, gets 3'd on. Hoping not to see a 2k counter to Shigi, but we see it, so I cannot bottom deck the Smoker outright. 5 of us will counter 2. I guess we'll bottom deck the Shigi this turn. Then we'll red rock the Smoker the turn after. So here is a 3000 worlds. I can't do much else, so we'll event search. Let's take a Concasseur. And then we will ramp it down with my leader. Nope, I didn't use my leader ability. I guess I should have just cycled out the Brochette blow, but one way of getting around Smoker would be to just attack into Smoker after giving it minus 3k if I can't bottom deck it. So he does play a second Smoker, and I do think he plays like a second Tashigi. Yeah, so I can't red rock it anyway, so I think the Brochette blow will help me here. That's one way I can get rid of one Smoker. 7 at us, we will Concasseur. Then 7 at us from the leader I will gladly take, because I have no counter. If I had counter, I would have block countered 1, but I can't do that. So we'll take. Okay, so let's draw some Sanjis. One Sanji, and then we'll Brochette minus 3. It's a 5k because leader ability gives it plus 1k, unfortunately. I do want to drop another Sanji and leave one down up for Gungam Giant, so it's going to be 5 at Smoker. Counter 2 or 1, and then we'll throw an 8 at Smoker. I do think I remember them defending it for 4k. Yeah, you can keep it. Keep the change. Oh, 3 cards? Okay, that's really good. So his last card is either a 1k counter or no counter. This puts me in a really good spot. Okay, plays a Hody. That puts me in a really bad spot. It's 8 at my Sanji. I cannot defend because he rested my Dawn. I guess I could counter, but then he has other attacks he can throw at it. It's okay, at least I have 1 Sanji. I'm glad I developed 2. Okay, 9 at my Reiju. You got it. 5 at my face. I counter that because I have to take the 7 anyway. Banish. We get banished. I lost a Gum Rain. That's not good. Alrighty, how do I get out of this one? I will play Sanji. I will Brochette. I have to kill one of these Smokers. At the very least, one of them. So we'll do 7 at Smoke. Oh, I remember he does like a spider web, and then he Paradise Waterfall is the other Smoker. Yeah, so I cannot attack either Smoker, but he did use every card in his hand to do that. So we'll kill Hody. And then hope Gungam Giant pulls us through. I will admit, I do think I get a little lucky in this game because I'm going to Gungam Giant into another Gungam Giant, which helps me survive. So here is 10 from Smoker. We'll GGG, get rid of Red Rock. And there's that second GGG. We'll counter 2. Here's another 10. So the 9 is from leader to end the game. We can banish this because we can defend the leader's 9k. Right? There's no way we lose. So we'll just lose this life. Force him to go all in. Not play any blockers or anything. Yeah, a blocker would stall the game for them, but he doesn't. He goes for the all in. We'll Gungam Giant. And then counter 2. And there's no way he wins now. So we just go all in. 7, 9, 11. No trigger, right? No more pistols. Here's a 9. And then all in. Oops, I almost minus it on all in. For 11. Perfect lethal. Oh, he's running PRB02 cards. That's not fair. I'm not running any. If there are any for my deck anyway. Okay, we have Ace versus Sanji. I'm Sanji though. I don't know why I said Ace first. I hate that guy. Worst leader in the game. Okay, so we'll Concasseur just to cycle out. I do think he's running PRB02 cards too just because the sim updated to 1.31a. So unfortunately, I can't get pure OP12 matches for you guys. 5 of us will counter 1. He runs pudding too, right? I have to play around it. Okay, so for Dawn, we'll play out Reiju, but it's a pretty big risk. We'll Biff Burst here, swing for 5, get a Dawn back. Right, he's yellow and blue. They all have 5-drop answers to 5 drops. So 2 down on leader for him to leader ability, which I believe he's just puts a 5-drop on the top of his life. He needs a way to like, yeah, he takes it to hand with the Zeus, kills my Reiju. So that's my bad, playing the Reiju out too early before she's a 9 cost. We'll take an 8k to face. Event search into an event. Then we'll event search into Sanji. Where are ya? Guess we'll take a Reiju. Culverin's not gonna help me because he plays 5 drops. Okay, we take a 2k counter instead. Event search into a 3-drop. Nope, that would have been nice because I have 3 leftover Dawn. Take a GGG. We will event search. Where's Sanji? Found one, but I don't have the Dawn for you now. And I guess we will leader ability to play a brushette to cycle. Big burst. I have too many cards in my hand to burst. So we'll swing 6 and Rapidon, and then if we need to, we can Concaster to save a life. Unless he puddings us. We just got the Sanji, don't pudding us, please. Okay, so he's gonna leader ability. Ooh, Egghead Luffy, and then he can put 2 down on Sanji to draw it to his hand. Oh, and then he plays it out with the 2-cost Luffy, so he's a 9k. 9k in my face, 6k from Sanji. I should just counter all the small hits I can. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. He attacks with the Sanji, predictable. That's all he could do, really. Counter 2. And then 9, we have to take 2 Boeuf bursts. Okay, so we can just bottom deck the Sanji. I mean, the Luffy. Play out our Sanji, is what I meant to say. We go for the Reiju, just have a blocker, be more protective. And we'll Boeuf burst, draw 2. Kill this Sanji. I think he does defend it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, counters 3 or 4. 4k to protect that little puny 3k. I don't think it's worth it. Right, unless he really has no way to utilize that face-up life card that he makes every turn. I guess, yeah, he draws a card, so it replaces the counter, at least one of the cards. Okay, sets up a Satori. Then he'll need to commit 2 down. Oh, he plays the 5-cost Ace. But doesn't play a Hiyori out to bring back that Satori to hand. What does he put in the trigger? I don't know. 7, we can just block counter. Oh, I take it. Why didn't I block counter? Maybe I forgot Jozu has counter. So we're at 1 life. That's not good. So we just drop 3 Sanjis here. We drop 3 Sanjis here. Then we can Boeuf burst too. Draw 2, and I'm super protected here. We'll throw 5 at leader. Give us a Dawn back. Okay, I have 1 Gungam Giant and 1 Gungam Rain. Plus my Reiju blocker. Okay, so Satori... Oh, he put it back. I guess he could do that, right? He already take the Satori to hand and then just put it back on top. He puddinged us! I still got my Gungam Giant, though. I got 2 of them now. But yeah, we had a super defensive hand. I guess this hand is just as defensive, just I have less fodder to spare. So he does play a 2-cost Ace to bring out the 5-drop from life. He has 3 life, so he doesn't have rush, actually. So 7 from the 5-cost Ace. We will GGG. Okay, we get no more counter. 9 at us. We could just block and let her die. I can't go to 0. Too scary. Apart from Satori, we will counter 2. Okay, so he's a 7k base. That means I attack characters. So we can 3000 worlds the Ace. Then we'll event search into event. And then I want to play Reiju out. So that is 4 Dawn. I cannot use anymore. We will just use our leader ability to play out the Searcher event into, I guess, Boeuf burst. 5 at Ace, and then all my Sanjis are 8Ks now. So I'm pretty sure I kill both of these bodies. He counters 1, here's 8, you die. Here's 8 at Satori, he die. 8 at face, you take. And then we'll have 1 down for Gungam Giant. We're gonna have to discard the Boeuf burst. Because worst case scenario, I discard Boeuf burst, I take a life, and I can Gungam Rain with that last card, even if it has no counter. So he does Garp and finds an Ace, and he plays it out, hard casted for 5. It has Rush now. Okay, leader abilities is Anami into life. 2 down on Sanji just to get it to hand. I think I just block with Reiju here. Yeah. Actually, with Gungam Giant, I'll have the card in hand to discard for Gungam Rain too. So I block both of these 7Ks here. 7 at my face, I will GGG. And then 7 at my face again, I will Gungam Rain, and I discard Kaya by accident. For some reason, Gungam Rain's the only zero cost 3k counter that you have to like click the leader afterwards. Right, I think Gungam Jet Gatling, it just does it automatically. Oh well. Okay, so we'll do 7 at face. With the Reiju. If this goes through, I have game. If it doesn't, I just control board. Okay, so he counters. I might still have game here, since he had to use like 3 cards for that. He takes. Okay, we'll throw 9. Takes. We'll throw like 10 and then 12. No, 11, 12. 11 and then 12. There's no way he has all 2k counters. Pretty sure. Yep, we got it. And that's all I got for you guys. So hope you enjoyed the gameplay here. I could play against Zoro, but it's just going to be Zoro spanking my ass. I don't know if you guys want to see that. There's just no way we can really deal with them. Okay, bye.
Car D Kaizoku.